truly like to be out of conflict in your life?
Yeah.
Out of problems, out of anxieties, out of confusion of not knowing what to do when you have these two choices all day long? All right, then you listen to this, right? Where there is no self, which there isn't anyway, except an illusion, there is never a choice about anything whatsoever except on daily living. You have to decide whether you want bread or cake for dinner tonight. That is all right. But you don't have to decide, you don't even have to decide whether you're going to be happy or not. Because there's no one there to ask the question.
Yeah, that was Vernon Howard. Just, what a great little segment. So I put that onto the recording. I just thought that it was, all right. So when he talks about no self there, and he talks about kind of like, if you think about it, and you think about it from the point of view of kind of like, when you get offended and stuff like that, and you're kind of like, but who's there though? Like even when I think sometimes when I'm in no self and I'm not, and that's kind of like, well, and then I always think like, well, I'm not in that simply because you're getting offended, right? If you're getting offended by something, then it means that there's someone there, there's something there that you're taking a reference point from. You know what I mean? So when you think about what he's talking about choices and about like, can you make this choice here and make that choice there? But usually the choices that we would get confused over are the ones that kind of like we want to get out of a certain internal state, which we didn't get ourselves into and we can't get ourselves out of. We kind of did get ourselves into them because of being unconscious in certain instances. But then kind of like that's the choices that he's talking about. He's not talking about, the choice of, okay, I have to go and get food. I have to go and get, a new toothbrush or something like that. They're just choices because we live in this world, right? So, but when you think about, just say, go back to what I was talking about being offended and stuff like that, there has to be someone there. Someone treats you bad. There has to be someone, and you take offense by it, and you take a reference point from it. And you're kind of like, well, why did that person do this? Why did that person say this? Why did they do this? And you're there internalizing it and getting into kind of like a kind of like, what do I do about this? Well, who's there? If no self is there, if it's ignited because you're fed up of the whole goddamn bloody thing, you're just fed up of the whole bloody thing, all right? And if no self is there, who's getting offended? What choices have to be made, like Vernon Howard says? What choices have to be made other than, I want potatoes for dinner. I have to go and buy them. I have to go to the shop. Will I walk or will I take the car? Them basic choices are fine, but the other choices and getting offended, connected in with it, when it happens to me all the time. And I'm like, okay, so Shane is back, right? Shane is back because he's getting offended. And when there's no self there, there's no reference point. How can you offend someone who's not there? I yield.